Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes. In the last episode you guys had the opportunity to decide where we would continue with the airport, and you said we should take a break from Terminal 1 and start construction here at Terminal 2, and that is what we will be doing today. As always, if you should end up enjoying this video, then don't forget to smash the like button. That really does help out the channel and of course the series. And if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. That would be absolutely awesome. Alright, so Terminal 1 is taking a little break, and we are now focusing here on Terminal 2, which is an entirely different way of constructing a terminal. We are moving away from the more 70s inspired architecture and going more towards something that you would find at an airport that would be built today. Terminal 2 at Berlin-Tegel is kind of a provisional building. It's definitely not been built to last for many decades, and it is the old home of Air Berlin, where they were before they went bust. Now, I've only been to that part of Berlin-Tegel once when I was flying to Riga with Air Baltic, and the design seemed fairly simple. So you would enter the building obviously from the outside, and then you would have security to your left and all the check-in areas to your right. So this is basically what we will be trying to do here as well. Obviously Terminal 2 has quite a few gates, and for that obviously we don't really have space here, so most of the stands or gates at Terminal 2 will actually be remote stands, and for that we will then again use the same system that we also did at Terminal 1, which is kind of inspired by Geneva Airport. And we are doing this because we can't really fix it in another way, because we need to have enough space for bus stops and stuff like that. So for that we need to make these small remote buildings, and then we will have all the boarding procedures happening underground. So from the main terminal building here we will build a construction where we lead passengers underground and then over to these small remote buildings, from where they then can board the buses, which will bring them to the remote stands. And that's pretty much what we will be working on here today. We will also of course working a little bit on the baggage system as well, because obviously we want to try to get as far as possible with this today. We won't be able to finish it, that's for sure. We will at least spend one more episode, if not two, before we will be done with Terminal 2. That also means that at the moment, or at least in this episode, I'm not adding more airlines, because there is really no reason to do so. You wouldn't be seeing any of the airlines anyway, because we are focusing on construction today. But don't worry, I have noted down all the airlines that you have suggested in the previous episodes, and if you have any other suggestions, then you can always write them in the comment section below. If they're any way realistic, and if they're any way possible to do, specifically if there is an existing mod for it, then I will do my best to put them into a future episode, just not today. I hope you understand why. But since I have your attention now, if there should be any airport CEO experts out there, then I actually have a little bit of an issue, because I have just before I did this recording, I've checked my game. It is running in the experimental branch, what you need so you can have your mods. I have subscribed to a bunch of mods. I have checked all the mods in the game, and I have made sure that they are all activated, but still when I'm running the game, the offers of airlines coming in, they just, I don't know. Obviously when you start the game it needs time to load these offers, but there are just some airlines that never show up. I have subscribed for example to Emirates, and I just don't see those ever. I have subscribed to a bunch of North American airlines, and I just never see any offers of them, and I don't understand why they don't load in. If there's a limit as to how many offers can load in or something like that, I don't know. But if you have any idea what the issue could be, then please feel free to let me know in the comment section below, because I really want to add some of these airlines for you guys, but at the moment they just don't seem to come into the game, which makes it difficult for me to add them. Yeah, if you have any idea, let me know in the comment section below. But enough about that. Let's focus at what we're doing here. Right now we're working on the luggage system, the baggage system, and obviously, yeah, sure, parts of this here might be a little bit squeezed. There isn't a huge amount of space around these check-in counters. And in real life, this is probably not the case. But again, we need to preserve a little bit of space. And honestly, I don't really mind if there's a few small things at the airports that don't run entirely perfect, because Berlin-Tegel is not a perfect airport. Obviously, I want the game to run and I don't want to have huge issues. But if there are small things here and there, small bottlenecks here and there that don't totally ruin how the airport runs as a whole, then I actually don't mind, because as I say, Berlin-Tegel is far from perfect, especially considering today's traffic and how it is keeping up with that, or rather it isn't keeping up with that. So yeah, I guess in that sense I don't really mind that some things here might maybe be a little bit too squeezed and might create some bottlenecks. And yes, I realize I'm waffling every week that I want the airport to run smoothly, and I'm doing everything to do that, and now I'm talking about wanting to create small bottlenecks. It's really just that I want to have small things here and there where maybe we kind of get the feeling that the airport isn't ideal, but obviously I don't want it to ruin the entire operation of the airport. That's basically just what I want to say. So, just as in Terminal 1, we will have multiple baggage bays operating, but we will try to keep the underground system of these baggage belts as simple as possible, and try to utilize them as good or as much as possible. And that means leading as many lines as possible together into one single central line, and then again spreading them out to the different destinations they have. We will have 2 baggage bays, at least for now. Maybe we want to add a third one at some point in a remote building. We will have to see if these 2 baggage bays can cope with the amount of stands and gates we will have at the airport, or at Terminal 2 specifically. I'm not entirely sure if they can cope with that, but we will at least try in the beginning. This also means we will have 2 baggage retrieval areas, but I will put them into like one section here. So it will look like one room, but it will actually be 2 separate baggage retrieval areas. And yeah, so that's again will be right after you leave the security zone, and I will again put in these double doors so that once the next update of the game comes, and hopefully it will be soon, there we should then have these one-way doors where people can only go into one direction, and then hopefully we can replace these double doors, or this double door system that I'm putting in everywhere at the airport at the moment. So yeah, that's the plan for now. And yes, of course, the double door system that I'm putting in place, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it's not really working as such. I think it's more a visual thing I'm trying to put in, because I haven't used it at any other airports I've built so far, and I kind of like it. And basically, normally, or at least as far as I know, most of the time, the baggage retrieval areas would still be within the security zone, and when you then leave that, or at least within some form of a security zone, and when you then leave that, you're most of the time kind of not just walking through one door, but kind of basically 2 doors for whatever reason. And that's basically what I put in there. The only thing is, of course, that right now people can walk in and out as they please, and hopefully we can change that with the next update. Alright, so we have basically managed now to get pretty much the layout that we want here at Terminal 2, at least the departure and at least parts of the arrival hall. We need to connect up a few things, and then we need to head over to this little remote building, because we need to kind of figure out how we want to do that. We have bus stops on both sides of this building, which makes it a little bit tricky. This is very condensed, and I'm pretty sure this will be hopelessly overloaded with people, so we might have to be a bit careful with how many planes we put into this part of the airport. But anyway, we will try. Hopefully it won't ruin the the frame rate once it's running. Actually, I'm coming to think of it now, probably it will, but anyway, we will try to see if we can make it work. So we need to get people up here with these escalators. From there they will then go into the buses. underground there. Then we need to add all the boarding desks, and again we need to see how we actually manage to do this. It will be a bit tricky, but I'm sure we will figure out a system. So let's take a look. Alright, so first of course we need to have the boarding desks, and yeah, basically how many stairs do we have? Basically for every stair we need one boarding desk. This is as many gates as we will have here. This will be a little bit trial and error. I mean, I have done a system like this before, just not with the bus stops on both sides of this building. Normally always just on one side. So now we just need to have basically double the amount of boarding desks and everything that is coming with that in the basically same amount of space, which yeah, could lead to some issues. I do definitely foresee some performance issues with the game here if we have as many people as we would normally have, and then double that because we have double the amount of gates at this little tiny area. This is often something the game can struggle with. I mean, we've already seen it over at Terminal 1 that when we're hovering right above Terminal 1, the frame rate does drop quite considerably. So this is another area where this could happen, but we will see when it runs. If it's really terrible, we might need to change something here and there to see if we can improve the frame rate by maybe changing the design a little bit to lead people a bit further away from each other. But yeah, we will see. So I think what I will do here is, again, we will try to, with walls, simply make kind of pathways for people and lead them so they can only reach a specific staircase or escalator in this case, which will bring them up. And then upstairs we would again need to wall off sections so they can always just to make sure that they can never accidentally go to an area where they shouldn't be. So down here, yeah, this will look a little bit strange. We will have a lot of sections here walled off that aren't really, probably won't be usable for anything else. Although we could maybe fit in some tiny staff rooms here and there. But we will have to see. I think this is definitely something for later. But this way we really make sure that the people will only walk in areas where we want them to be. And that is, yeah, that's definitely important. Obviously you also need to have benches. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that for one single aisle aircraft you only need 2 of these larger benches, but I always like to put 4, but I don't think we can afford to do that here. So I think we will, yeah, do like this here, having 2.5 benches, it's plural, 2.5 benches per boarding desk. I think that will be a ratio. It should be fine. And if not, hey, people can stand. There are plenty of gates in the real world where you don't have the opportunity to sit down, where you just have to stand. So yeah, they will have to do the same here at our Berlin-Tegel airport. Alright, so here at the end of the video, you might have noticed that throughout this video that I'm trying to build a connection tunnel that connects this remote stand-up with our terminal. And what I have realized here is that what I have done is I have built a tunnel that is connecting our remote building with Terminal 1. Why? I don't know. And obviously that's not what we want. We want to connect it up with Terminal 2. So yeah, we had to fix that. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing. But it will now be connected up with Terminal 2, which is what we want, which is what we need, because all these stands will be connected with stuff over in Terminal 2. So yeah, it's a good thing that we noticed that, because otherwise it would have been, I think the game would have been a bit confused. But I think overall we have made really nice progress here at Terminal 2. We have the basic layout done now. Next time we can go more into details and really make the terminal look nice. Yeah, and of course, as always, keep your suggestions for add-ons coming. I'm noting them down, and maybe depending on how far we get in next episode, we might start adding them there again. If not in the next, then in the one after that. Now, of course, if you should have end up enjoying this video, then don't forget to smash the like button. It really does help us out. And of course, if you're new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.